Hello everyone and welcome to your week 4 yoga class. As we go through today's class, I want you to really focus on slowing down. So a lot of the workouts that we do, they're faster paced and they're intense. And while it is wonderful to be intense and go hard and work hard, it's also really important to slow down and give yourself permission to slow down. So that's what we're focusing on today. I'm going to have you start here in a nice, comfortable seated position. And if you need to lift your hips up on a pillow or a blanket or a block, you can. Let your hands rest on your knees as you allow your eyes to gently close. We're going to start by taking a couple nice, slow, deep breaths here. As you inhale, I want you to inhale for 4 counts. So breathing in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Finding a pause at the top of the breath. And then exhaling out again for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top, and then exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue with that rhythm for about 3 more cycles. And then gently allow your eyes to open up. Bring your fingertips out to the sides, arms are long. And with the breath in, reach both arms up and overhead. As you exhale, lower the right hand down, left arm reaches up and over. Then inhale back to center. Exhale, switch sides, left hand down, right arm up and over. Following the breath now, inhale up, exhale over. Inhale up, exhale over. One more, inhale up, exhale over, inhale up, and exhale over. Adding on, inhale, please lift up. On your exhale, twist to the right, take your left hand to your right knee. Rotate through the torso, right ribs are gonna roll back, left ribs roll forward. Inhale, unwind, arms float to the sky. Exhale, switch. Right hand to left knee. Rotate through the trunk. Remember, we always twist a nice long spine. Crown reaches high. Chest breathes to chin. Inhale, unwind. Both arms float up. Hinge at your hips. Exhale, fold forward. Head and neck relax. Shoulders fall away from the spine. Head hangs heavy. Feel that stretch through your hips, your low back. And then inhale, walk yourself back up. Please go ahead, come over to all fours. And we're gonna make our way into our first downward facing dog. Placing the hands at the top of your space, curl the toes under behind you. And then lift your hips up and back. So this first downward dog, I always like to move around a little bit. Bend one knee, then the other. Kind of rotate through the hips. Lift on the balls of the toes, bend the knees, whatever feels good to you. Then settle into your downward facing dog. So it's very easy here for your belly, your ribs to poke out. But what I want you to do is pull the ribs in. We talk a lot about that as we work out together. Brace through the core, even here. Lift through the hips, sink through the heels, lengthen through the arm. Now from your downward dog, rise high onto the balls of the toes. Tuck the chin towards the chest. I want you to round and roll forward into plank. Unwind. Crown reaches forward. Exhale, draw your hips up and back, downward facing dog. We're going to roll through that again. Inhale, heels high, chin to chest, round and roll forward into plank. Unwind. And then exhale, draw the hips up and back, downward facing dog. One more time. Inhale, round and roll forward, unwinding at the bottom. And then exhale, hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. From your downward dog, walk or jump your feet to the top of your mat. As you breathe in, take a halfway lift, lengthen from your crown to your tailbone, and then exhale and soften into forward fold. Inhale, reach all the way up, mountain pose, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the center, head down last. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale to plank, plant the hands, step or jump back. Lower all the way down to the ground. Reach the toes back and then inhale into cobra, peel forward and peel up. Exhale, lower. Curl your toes under. Activate your quadriceps so the kneecaps lift, heels drive back. Pick the belly button off the ground, spread your collarbones wide, and then inhale to plank. Exhale, back, downward dog. With our breath now, take an inhale here. To the top, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain, stretch, reach tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plank. Lower all the way down. Remember, knees are always there to help. Inhale, cobra, lift. Exhale, release. Curl the toes. Inhale is tabletop or plank. Exhale, down dog. One more time, breath in here. To the top, exhale. Inhale, lifts. Exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank. Lower all the way down. Reach the toes back. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Curl your toes. Inhale, tabletop or plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take about 3 breaths here. Coming back to that slow pace. Permission to slow down, to just be and to just breathe. Take an inhale. On the exhale, walk or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale again, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Mountain as you inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we're going to do just a little bit of balance here. I'll turn to the front so you can see. Balance on your right leg and lift your left knee up, just in line with the hip. And try and use the muscles of the core rather than just that hip flexor, which is probably already tight just because of how we live life seated. Let the ankle wobble, that right ankle. Just find your balance, find your gaze, and maintain the breath. With your next exhale, transition back into airplane. Hinging at the hips, the left leg is going to go back. Square the hips. That left hip is going to want to roll open. but don't let it. Square the hips to the ground. You can keep your hands at heart or reach them back. Low belly in. Chest slightly lifted higher than the hips. No need to rush, just hold and breathe. Balance and breathe. Last 3. Crescent lunge as you step back. Great big step with the left foot. Arms reaching up and overhead. So you're probably feeling some work in that right leg. Stick with it. Settle in, try not to rush out of it. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, you're going to reach out and twist. Left arm forward and right arm back. Rotate through the torso. Back leg stays strong. Turn the right ribs back. Steady gaze. Back to center as you breathe in. Exhale to plank. Plant your hands, step back. Option to go back to downward dog or take a chaturanga through upward facing dog. Lowering halfway if you're taking the option. Breathing and lifting into upward dog. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Second side, inhale. To the top as you exhale. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, surrender into the fold. Mountain as you breathe in. Exhale, hands to heart. So balancing on the other leg now. Shift the weight to your left leg. Reach the right knee up. And try and get the knee at least in line with the hip. Triple flexion here, so flex of the hip, the knee, and the ankle. Shoulders are stacked over hips still. Find your gaze, find your balance. And maybe you don't have any balance today. So your balance is going to be different from day to day. Don't get upset about it if you're super wobbly. Just make note. Take an inhale. And then hinge back to airplane, right leg back. Hips squared, shoulders squared. Active through the lifted leg. Maybe a soft bend in your left knee. Take any arm variation you want. Navel draws to spine. Press down through your left big toe mound as you hold a little bit longer. And then big step back, crescent lunge. Reach that right foot back and notice what my back foot is doing. The heel is stacked over the balls of the toes. I'm not sinking back, I'm lifting up and then sinking into the front knee and the front hip. Left hip pulls back, right hip pulls forward, anchor through the tailbone and breathe in for length. Exhale, reach out and twist. This time right arm forward, left arm back. There's a tendency to lean forward. Don't do it. There's a tendency for the back knee to bend. Don't do it. There's a tendency for the right hip to sink. Again, don't do it. Try not to. Stay light and lifted and long. Inhale back to center. Exhale, release, plank. Step back into down dog or take the vinyasa chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Light and lifted through the hips. So we're going to find a little bit of a flow today, and then we'll bring it down to the ground for some deeper stretching. Inhale, reach the right leg up. Again, hips square. Exhale, step into a lunge. Right foot at the top of your mat, left leg strong behind you. Rise to crescent lunge as you breathe in. Exhale, airplane arms. So the belly's going to hover right above the thigh. Pinkies squeeze in. Right glute is working. Now a big transition. Inhale to warrior two. You're going to circle your left arm forward and then around. Right arm ends up reaching out in front of you. Get low. Feel the stretch and the work through the hips. Take one more breath in. Exhale is triangle. Straighten your right leg. Pull the hips to the back edge of your mat as you reach forward with the fingertips. Then lower right hand down, left arm up. Hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked. Light weight on this bottom hand and try to not lock this right knee. Push the foot forward, push the foot down. Reach high through the left hand without letting the shoulder creep up. Shoulder blade relaxes down the back. Final pose, inhale, reverse triangle, lift up and out of the waist. Reach the right arm to the ceiling, back behind you. Exhale, release, downward dog or chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left leg lifts as you breathe in. Exhale, lunge. Remember, get low, soften, and then rise, crescent lunge. Feel the stretch and the strength in the pose. Hips are squared as you inhale. Airplane arms as you exhale. Tone the triceps, hug the pinky fingers in. Draw left hip back. Inhale, warrior two. Circle the right arm forward, up and around. Left fingertips reach in front of you. Sit low. Open the left knee wide. Tuck the left sit bone or butt cheek underneath you. And feel your right inner thigh rolling back behind you. Take one more breath in. Exhale to triangle. Straighten the left leg. Reach forward. Then reach down. Right arm reaches up. If you have a block at home and you've got really tight inner thighs and hamstrings, you might want to have a block here underneath your left hand or behind, in front of or behind the left shin. If you don't have a block, you can just lift up in the pose. So you don't have to be touching the ground, because a lot of times that means you're just going to crunch. Find the space. Breathe into that space. Root the feet down for 4. And then inhale, up and out of the pose, reverse triangle. Left arm stretches up and back. Exhale, release. Down dog or chaturanga. So we're going to do that 2 times, each side with our breath. Nice and slow and steady. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, warrior two, open up. Exhale, triangle, lengthen through the legs, reach through the arms. Inhale, reverse triangle, reach up and back. Exhale, release, down dog or chaturanga. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale to triangle. Inhale, reverse triangle. Keep the legs strong. Exhale, release, downward dog or chaturanga. Last time each side. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale to triangle, lengthen and stretch. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, chaturanga or downward dog. Last flow. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale to triangle pose, Trikonasana. Inhale, reverse triangle, lift up and back. Exhale, release, downward dog or chaturanga. Pause for 3 breaths. And then gently lower down to the ground. Find a seated position. So what we're going to do next are a couple poses from Yin Yoga, because Yin is my favorite. If you really want to slow down, find yourself a Yin class. And just because it's slow doesn't mean it's easy. When you hold the poses longer, you really get to feel that working in your body. So we're going to start with half butterfly. I'm going to turn towards you. Please extend your right leg out on the diagonal and take your left foot somewhere into that right inner thigh. Now, if you're familiar with yoga, you might be thinking we're going to go into head to knee pose, but we're not. Instead of stretching to the side, we're going to start to stretch just right in front of us. Starting to move into the left side of your lower back, inner thigh and groins. If you're super tight, you can stay more upright. I would also recommend a block or a couple pillows or a bolster if you have access to a bolster in front of you that you can just kind of prop yourself up on. Fold forward, let your head and your neck relax, and we're going to stay here for several breaths. We're about halfway through the hold. Maybe you can walk yourself out a little bit farther. So remember, when you are stretching, you need at least 30 seconds to really get any sort of benefit from the stretch. So just something to keep in mind if you're stretching after a workout. Now inhale, lift yourself back up. And we're gonna switch sides. Go ahead and take your left leg out. Right foot comes in, anywhere between the knee and really tight up into the groin, whatever feels best for you. You may need to pull the flesh away from your right sit bone. And then start to hinge forward. And I feel this in my lower back the most. You may feel it more in your hamstrings. It just depends on where you're tight. I think it's just kind of fun to notice where you feel different stretches. Observing which side is tighter than the other. If you don't have a blanket, or excuse me, a pillow or a bolster available, you can also make fists with each hand and then stack one fist on the other and rest your forehead on those fists. Excuse me. With your next breath in, start to lift up and out of the pose. Take your right leg out to the side as well. So you're in this straddle position, and again, you may need to use your hands to manually move the muscles. I want your inner thighs to roll down to the ground. So roll those inner thighs down, pull the flesh away from the sit bones. If you're a little more flexible, you can take your legs wider. If you're a little tighter, you can come into a more narrow V. You could also elevate hips on a block or a blanket again. Finding a little dynamic movements. Inhale, both arms reach up. Exhale, find that side body stretch over to the right again. Left arm reaches up and overhead. Inhale, both arms reach up. Exhale, side body stretch over to the left. Inhale, both arms reach up. Exhale, stretch over to the right. Inhale, both arms reach up. Exhale, both arms go over to the left. Inhale, both arms reach up. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. So again, you can stay up as high as you need to feel that stretch in the inner thighs. Or if you can go lower, go lower. Remember, it's never a contest. Nobody cares how far down you can go. So simply go where you can. Final few breaths here. And then inhale, walk yourself back up. Very good. Go ahead and bring your legs together out in front of you. Once your legs are together, please lay back onto your mat. Take a full body stretch. As you reach the arms overhead, point through the toes. Hug the right knee into the body and give it a squeeze. Now we're going to come into a twist. Draw the right thigh across your torso, right arm out to the side. Inhale back to center. Switch the legs out. Right leg goes long. Left knee hugs in. Move into your twist. Take the left thigh across your body. Left arm out to the side. Work to keep your left shoulder still down on the mats. Don't let it follow the left hip. And as you do that, you're going to find that extra space along the left side of your body. And with the breath in, please come back to center. Draw your right knee in to meet the left. And let's open up for a happy baby pose. I don't think we did this last week. Take the soles of your feet towards the ceiling. Grab whatever's available. Maybe it's your feet, maybe it's your ankles, maybe it's your hamstrings. More important than what you hold on to, though, is what's going on in your low back. So press the low back down. Whatever you can hold on to while maintaining that nice, long spine. Low back pressing down. And also not letting the shoulders round up and off of the mat. We want the upper back to be pressing down as well. Feel free to stay here or extend the legs out straight. Maybe rock side to side. And then pause in the middle if you are rocking. Release whatever you have a hold of. Up the knees into the chest. Curl into a little ball. Make yourself as small as possible. Squeeze in. And then relax all the way down into our last pose, Shavasana. If it bothers your low back to be flat on the ground, two things you can do. You can bend your knees. Plant the feet and let the knees just rest together. You could also roll to one side in a supported fetal position. But wherever you are, choose your Shavasana. Allow your eyes to gently close, and your body to relax. Come into a natural breath. And allow your body to feel heavy, grounded, rooted. And as usual, if you have more time to spend, please feel free to stay here as I guide us out of Shavasana. Start to bring an awareness back to your breath. Perhaps the movement of your fingers or your toes. Reach your arms overhead. Take a breath in. And then roll to one side. Find a fetal position here. Take a moment to pause again. Notice how it feels to slow down rather than being rushed and hurried. And then keeping in with today's theme, slowly press yourself up. Find a seated position. Allow your eyes to be gently closed for one last moment as you bring your hands together at heart center. Thumbs gently pressed into the sternum. Crown reaches high. Collarbones are wide. Breath is steady. Breath is mindful. Please take an inhale here. And on your exhale, bow forward. Namaste. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Sorry. Enjoy the rest of your day.